Alright everybody, hope we're all doing well. Today we're going to review a video from 3 years ago, which is a compilation. I haven't watched it in its entirety, where people are saying they are having visions from God of China and Russia invading the United States of America. I thought this was extremely relevant considering the times we're living. And I'm also going to show you a couple other videos that have hit my feed that God has shown me that I'm going to show to you. So hopefully where you can see this is not just one person, two person, three person. There are dozens of people saying God has given them visions that this is going to happen. So don't be surprised when it does. And per Ezekiel 38 and 39, which we touched on in my last video, yes, Russia and China are going to unite against the nations that form a coalition with Israel in the end times, and I believe we're heading there. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe as we go into this. It really helps the channel. The point of this channel is not for me to get views or dollars. It's to wake up people and help them understand that you are living in the last days in the biblical end times, and I want as many of you guys in heaven as possible. Let's check this out.
So I wrote this in my journal on September 21st, 2021. So this is the dream I had. This is the dream I had several months ago that I have taken time to pray on and see if it was from God. So I believe this is a warning of what is to come. What I knew I could sense from my dream was the soldiers were in control of America and we all feared them. I noticed that the skies were an overcast gray. Everything looked kind of gray.
Hey guys, so I wanted to get on here and quickly tell you guys a dream that I had late last night. And in my dream, they was telling us, get out the building. The sky is gray or black or something like that. In the dream, I'm trying to remember. And I'm like, what? In the dream, the whole time I'm at my job, I'm like, what do you mean we got to leave? What's going on? What's going on outside? When I left the building from my job, it was so crazy because it was like, and I live in Texas right now. And literally, when I walked outside my building from my job, I was in Manhattan. But all I seen when I stepped, as soon as I stepped out the building, I seen at least 10 to 15 blue warplanes. And I mean, tons, like just going in unison and just making this, like they was making their declaration that they were here in the US. And I literally was like, oh my gosh, you seen people panicking, running. And all I remember saying before I woke up was, this is exactly what I had a dream about. Like, this is exact from the dream I had. Guys, as it says in Acts 2:17, he will pour out his spirit upon all flesh.
And
his
Joel,
sons and his daughters will prophesy. The old men will just begin to have dreams and visions. This is here and this is happening. God will never allow things to happen without telling his people first.
Amos 3:7 says God will not do anything without revealing it to his servants and prophets first. Also, I've seen so many people saying they've had visions where there are so many jet planes and like military craft in the sky, it literally blocks out the entire sky from how many military aircraft are flying overhead. There's a reason why America is not mentioned anywhere in the Bible. I think it's because America, it may be the kingdom of Babylon. We literally have Sin City, Vegas over here, and it tells us the Antichrist will come from the west, which, considering the Mediterranean Sea is to the west of Israel, I believe that means America. So I'm just saying, guys, there's a lot of people. Let's continue to watch to see if anybody else has anything to say that lines up with all these visions.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you what that first dream was. The first dream that I had, which was a couple of years ago, I was in a larger city and there were leaflets being dropped from the sky, and I don't remember what those leaflets said, but I do remember that I then saw troops marching from the south. Now, I live in South Texas, okay?
Shout out Texas.
And these troops were not American troops. These troops were Russian troops, and they were marching from the south, from Mexico. And somewhere amongst the dream, I had also heard that they were Chinese troops marching into the U.S. as well, but they were coming from Canada, coming across the northern border.
Last night I prayed that God would speak to me through a dream.
I'm going to say this too. I was trying so hard to find the link, but I couldn't find it. I saw a vision, or I saw another man describing a vision he had on one of these near-death testimonies channel, where he said he had a vision of a dragon and a snake making love on top of Washington, D.C. Dragon, of course, is the symbol of China. Snake is on the Mexico flag. I do believe we're going to see some sort of invasion, and we as America have not done a good job of making friends with our allies. In fact, we've kind of ticked them off over the last 20 years to 50 years. I don't know, guys.
And I'm seeing all these people fighting on the city streets. And I just remember being like, oh my gosh, we're being invaded right now. And I remember all the people were of like Asian descent or like the Chinese military. And that goes along the lines of my last dream where I saw Vladimir Putin, Kim Jong-un, and Xi Jinping in a rice paddy talking about destroying America.
A couple of dreams that I would like to tell you about. I will try to be as quick as possible to make this a short video. Today is July 22nd, 2018. So I had this dream. It was in May 2018, a couple of months ago. I saw that I was in something that looked to me like a cruise ship, and I saw in the water coming Russian troops. And I knew in the dream that it was Russia coming to invade the US, invading the US. So I was pretty scared because in the dream it felt so real.
I need to share this dream that I had, I want to say it was like a year ago maybe. It was a family gathering and we were all there at the house, and there was Asian military that came into the house.
I've had many dreams and visions over the years, but I think I'm going to start with this one. In America, there was a Red Army attacking a tan, kind of like the color of my skin. America was like the color of my skin, like kind of brown, tannish color, and there was a Red Army that came swarming up from all sides and just engulfed it. And a man's voice said, "And they fought to the end." And then I woke up.
Last night I had very...
Hey, somewhere in Matthew it says, he who draws the sword must die by the sword. Of course, they're going to have to fight to the end. If you take that approach, hey, if you don't turn to Jesus and seek peace.
Troublesome dream. I wasn't afraid in the dream at all, which is very important, but I just want to let you know that, yeah, we're going to be invaded at some point in the future, and it's going to be, they're going to be everywhere. They're going to be like, we think we're so invisible, and you know, because we have weapons and stuff like that, especially as individuals. And I'm a person who was in the military, so I kind of have that invincibility thing going on too. Like, oh, they're not going to invade us. Oh, please believe. Yeah, no. Yeah, we're going to be invaded with their old little Kalashnikovs and all of that stuff. They're going to be everywhere. And yeah, if you think you're invisible just because you have a couple weapons at home and, oh, you're going to defend to the end. Okay, well then defend to the end. But I'm telling you, we're about to be invaded. And the one person in my family who I know has lots of weapons, in this dream, that person was asleep. I want you guys to know that God is real, and it's time to get yourself right with him.
Amen.
It's not time to prepare and digging holes and digging basement shelters and all that stuff. You need to be repenting and making sure that you are right with the Lord, so that when he comes, you can go with him and you don't have to sit and take all of this and deal with all of this.
You know, I was rereading the Sermon on the Mount today. It literally says, do not fret about the future. If you turn to God, he will take care of you every day. Does he not even take care of the sparrows in the sky that don't have clothes or a home, yet they always have food and are taken care of? How much more will he take care of you? It's time to get right with God, people. This is all coming, whether you like it or not. The second horseman, I believe, is lawlessness. Peace gets taken from the earth. It's coming.
Woke up from a dream that I just had. I don't post videos on YouTube unless I feel like I'm led to by the Lord. And the Lord is telling me that I need to get this out there because it's very urgent, and also because of the times that we're living in right now. In my dream, there were bombs going off. People were screaming. People were hiding. People were going crazy. There were these soldiers that were dressed in dark green uniforms. They were Russian and Chinese, and they were just killing people like at random. They were just going inside buildings, just grabbing people.
I'm here to speak to you about dreams of war that I've been having. Actually, dreams of America being attacked. My first dream I had, I was living in my old neighborhood, and I was outside with my mom. And as we was outside, I saw 4 big airplanes, and they were flying real low, and I was amazed because I was like, wow, you know, they flying so low. And then I was looking at them, and I was looking to see where they was from, but they wasn't from here.
So I don't normally do this. Usually I tell fellow believers what I'm seeing in my dreams, but these dreams have become so prevalent that I felt it's time to give a warning. I've been having lots of dreams of China invading the US. And Chinese paratroopers started floating down out of the sky, and they were speaking perfect English, like they had grown up in America or spent time here, because they were saying, hey, we're here to help, don't worry, don't panic, we're here to help, don't fear. And right at that moment, as these people were landing inside the fence, a guy pulls out an AR-15 and he starts shooting the paratroopers. And then out of nowhere comes this high-ranking, probably a colonel or something along those lines, rather than the paratroopers, and he walks up and he shoots him in the back of the head with a 9.
I'm coming to you with a dream that I had a couple nights ago. So the dream was about an invasion of Russia coming onto American soil.
I started having these dreams 2 years ago in 2014 when I was serving for the United States Army. I'm here today to share with you the multiple dreams that I've been having.
I'm going to say this too. There's a lot of vets in this video. These would be the least likely people to say that America is going to get invaded, yet they are saying against literally their lived experience in life that this is coming and we don't stand a chance. Just saying, why would they say that unless it actually happened?
About Russia invading America. One dream that I had was high schools and elementary schools were being operated by Russians. They was being operated by foreign soldiers. And I knew that somehow they had set up shop where these schools became the headquarters.
And then the Lord told me, just pay attention to what they are setting up. The bear invasion, this whole thing is a cover up. This whole thing is going to pass real quickly, and it's a cover up for what they are doing behind closed doors, for the stage they are setting up for the Antichrist. And that's the interpretation that the Lord gave to me.
I've got a couple more clips we're going to watch, but I'm going to say this. Last night, I have been always asking the Lord in my prayers, just keep giving me dreams or whatever. I had a dream last night. It was another one of those vivid dreams where I was inside a city that I was forced to live. So I live kind of out in the suburbs, but in my dream, I was forced to live inside of a city. And inside this city, I was like at some sort of bar where literally this chick just got killed for making a joke with the bartender, and he threw her out of a window, and everybody in the bar just acted like this was normal, and they started laughing. In the same dream, one of my church buddies, he got beat up, and then he had to go back to work, and like literally nobody blinked an eye. It was just another day on the job. I also was not allowed to have my own car, so we had to use public transportation, and they could only drop us off at specific checkpoints within the city. And while in this bus, I kept telling people my near-death experience that I've had, where I was telling them, hey guys, I've had a heart attack. I almost sunk to hell. My spirit popped out of my body. Then I called out to Jesus, please save me, and he saved me. Nobody in that dream believed me. Literally, they were all laughing and making fun of me, telling me that didn't actually happen. You don't know what you're talking about. And then I woke up. It was extremely vivid, and I was literally, even in the dream, disgusted at what the world had turned into. I'm just saying, guys, a lot of people are having dreams of these type of things getting set up.
To go back to the dream, to go back to the point of Russia and China, they were masked up. But there again, my mind was opened up, and it was very clear to me that it was China and Russia. And I did not know anything about anything to do with that stuff. Nothing. But you can see now how this is happening. This is happening in real time. So that makes me believe even more that we are coming so close to the coming king. I mean, we are coming so very close. Like, sell all your belongings and you know what I mean? Like, it's like, no, I'm not actually saying sell all your belongings like that. Don't take, ask the Lord if that's what you're supposed to do, and make sure it's a clear
Yeah, first run to the Father, because I think what I like about what you just shared is because a lot of people are like, well, I'm going to...
Hey, man, I'm going to say what Vlad says, if you guys have seen this channel, God's Voice Today. To fill you in, I can't piece it together because he talks about it a lot over the course of this video. It's called God Showed Me Russia and China in the Last Days. This man claims he had a very vivid dream where he was talking with Jesus, and Jesus showed him Russia and China invading the United States of America. I believe you don't need to prepare, because even if you stock up on food, money, all of this, it's not going to matter if we get invaded. Literally, you're going to carry the food supply with you as you're getting escorted out of your house. I mean, I believe truly the solution, as always, is go to God in prayer, get right with the Lord, make sure you're sealed with the Holy Spirit, and he will protect you, and he will make sure you're taken care of, and it's going to be brutal, but hey, it is what it is. All right, so this next video, when I was going through my YouTube feed the other day, literally there were 666 views, but when I clicked on it, now it's at 26,000, but you're just going to have to take my word on it. I took a snipping tool, but then I took another snipping tool, so it got deleted. But when I clicked on this video, it was exactly 666 views, which I think was God trying to tell me this is a real vision and dream. Of course, pray on this, ask for discernment, but I do believe this woman is telling the truth.
My name is Elvira. I am here to do my second video, and this video, I would say I was very grateful and blessed to receive like June, July of 2023. It's taken me a while to share it, just because I am a shy person. I'm not really a person to share my my experiences, but I am being led to share this because it's important, the overall message of it, to hopefully lead others to Christ and to motivate them. So I'm gonna go straight to it. Also, please, anything that you hear, any video that you listen to, any message, anything that you read, please take it to God first. Have him reveal the truth behind it, someone's heart behind their messages and their dreams, etc. It's very important. You always go and seek God first for it. Okay, so this dream, I was placed in a dream, and I was in my car with my family. And like at that moment, the Holy Spirit came and said, you are at your grandparents' house for a barbecue. I was pretty excited. Oddly enough, I've never had a barbecue dream. So I thought that was pretty cool. And so we all get out of the car, and as we were walking towards the house, all of a sudden something stopped me. And my husband looks at me and he says, are we gonna go inside? Why did you stop? And in the dream, I remember telling him, I don't know, give me a second, just kind of like figure out like why I'm like stopped right here. And he says, okay. And all of a sudden I look up in the sky, which was a very beautiful day, and a ton of parachutes are coming down from the sky, because there was no airplanes, none of that where they would jump out from or anything. I mean, they were just landing everywhere. And then my attention went to the road that my grandparents' house is on. A lot of military trucks were coming up, and I started noticing people coming out of those trucks, and I couldn't tell if they were just men or women or mixed. I'm not sure. I just noticed they were coming out, and then as more started to come, they would park everywhere. They would park on people's like parking spots, like everything. And then like the whole thing was muted, so like I couldn't hear any cars, I just could see them. But it got switched on, so I could hear the noises, and I could hear the people yelling, and they were saying, some were saying, and I mean all of them were in broken English. They all, like, it seemed like English was their second language, and they were saying, some were just saying get out, some were saying grab a bag, grab what you need, get out and get in line. I mean, it was on like a repeat, like it was something that you just repeating it, those same things over and over. And then it got muted, and as soon as that got muted, the Holy Spirit came and said, gather your family, there is a vehicle, like a van nearby. I will lead you and your family to safety. And then as soon as I said okay, I looked at my husband and I told him, can you please go into the house and tell my family to grab what they need and to come out, we need to go in a vehicle that is nearby. And he said okay. The kids were left with me, and I noticed that like the kids did not notice what was happening. Like they were being like their vision of what was happening, it was like they were being what is the word, it was like not, they weren't able to see what was happening, like none. Because they weren't freaking out, or they weren't like, crying or screaming, nothing. Like there was a veil that was on their eyes that they couldn't see what was happening. Anyway, so then after my husband goes towards the house, my attention went towards everything else happening. And then at this moment I see a ton of school buses coming, parking all over, a ton of more like truck military style trucks coming, parking out everywhere as well. And then I finally noticed that they were all men that had come out from the vehicles, and they also were not American military. They were a mixture of, they had a patch right here, it was like a Russian patch, and then the other one was like a China patch. So I knew that they were foreign, it was like a foreign army. And then civilians were coming out of their homes, and at this point, again, everything was shot, like everything was muted, and it got unmuted, and the civilians were coming out of their houses and they were yelling, this is our house, this is my home, my family's here, we're not going anywhere, we're here and we will defend this. And then at this point the military people said, if you don't obey us, if you don't obey what we tell you, and you don't do what we tell you to do, you and your family will get killed. And as soon as that was said, it got muted, and all you saw was a whole bunch of firearms being shot all over the place. Shots were being fired everywhere, and civilians were being killed as the military people, men, women and children, unfortunately. And then what seemed like forever, my husband comes back and he says, okay, I told your family they should be coming out soon. And I said okay. And then I kept looking around, and they were taking as the women and children were coming out, they at first wanted to break up the women and children, but the children were like, they would, holding on to the moms like for dear life. So that didn't happen. They just then gathered the women and children and put them in the bus, and then they gathered the men and put them in their trucks. And then as soon as that happened, then the ones that would struggle or give any type of like disobedient or being disobedient and not obeying the military men, they instantly got killed. Like there was no like giving second chances. It was like they instantly got killed.
I'm going to say this to any American out there that thinks that 12 gauge is going to stop an entire foreign invasion. We as Americans are so independent. We don't realize that, like, literally, we are so outnumbered in terms of population, especially if there is a coalition of global forces. True story, my sister, she works in NATO, and she is saying that, like, Americans are about to get a huge wake-up call in the next 5-10 years. We are no longer the global leader. I also believe this is how they set the stage for the Antichrist, is they are going to rely on drone technology and AIs to pull us out of this, and it's going to allow AI, they're essentially going to take every guardrail off of AI, and it's just going to go out of control and then just completely take over the planet very, very quickly.
It was a very sad scene to see, very sad. Everybody was just, it was chaotic. I mean, there was explosions all over the place. There was fires all over the place. Women, children crying, screaming, as to men. I mean, everything. Finally, my family comes out of the house and they look at me with a very confused face, and they asked, you know, what's happening? Where are we going? And all I said was, you know, don't worry about it. There's a vehicle that we're supposed to go to that is going to lead us to safety. And they didn't say anything. All they did was they nodded their heads like, okay. So we all started walking towards that spot, which there was nobody nearby. We all get in. I go on the passenger side. My husband goes on the driver's side. As soon as I close the door, the audible voice of God said, go straight to the stop sign, take a right, and then you go all the way down. And then in my head, I said, okay. I looked at my husband. I told him exactly what God's voice said. And then as soon as I said that, his voice came back, and he said, do not fear, no fear. Keep looking at me, do not fear, no fear.
Amen. There is no fear in love. It's like the most repeated expression in the Bible is fear not. It's like the story of Peter when he tried walking on water with Jesus. As long as you keep your eyes on Jesus, you can do whatever you want. But as soon as you turn and look at the storms and the waves and the distractions, you start sinking. It is literally chilling hearing this story. And I'm telling you, if you don't believe in God, he's 100% real, whether you believe in him or not. And it is a promise with a capital P in the Bible that God will always take care of his people. 1 Samuel 12:22, for God will not forsake his people, for it doth please him to make you his people. He will not forsake you.
If you obey me and look at me, I will lead you and your family to safety. Do not fear. And then in my head, I just said, okay. I said, okay. Like I nodded, and I could just feel, I could feel the love. I could feel his protection. That like the voice was like, I mean, it's not a normal voice. When you know that you hear from God, you know that it's him. And I wanted to stay in that moment because I just felt so like I felt protected. Like, and at the same time, I was like, oh gosh, I can't believe like my family's being led to safety by God. And then my husband turns on the car. He heads towards the stop sign, takes a right, and he drives a little bit. And then that's when I woke up. And I just told myself, like, God led us to safety. Like, he led my family and I to safety. And
amen. I'm telling you guys, it's coming whether you want it or not. And if you're not on the right side of the fence with God, you're just going to get swept away in the storm. All right, final one I got for you. This is another testimony on God's voice today. I believe this one came out, 7 months ago? So let's see what this guy's got.
Cardiac arrest, and you saw Jesus. Tell me more.
Yeah, it was after the Hurricane Milton back in October of last year, and I was driving. I stopped by to, use the outside. I didn't realize I stepped into a pile of fire ants, and caught a severe allergic reaction as I was driving. And I was controlling my breathing because I didn't want to panic or anything. And right in front of me, when I was losing my vision and about to pass out, I seen the semi-truck. And then when I looked to my right, there was a guy in all white dressing waving to me. So I went to my right and went to a ditch. So I woke up in the hospital. And when I woke up in the hospital, the officer came and she was asking me a question. I asked her, I said, did I hit the guy that was on the corner? She said, no, it was a mailbox.
What did you say? Was it a mailbox?
Yeah, it was a mailbox.
So who do you think that was? So you think that was Jesus waving at you?
That was either Jesus or an angel. It does say we are personally assigned angels to protect us.
Yes. It's not the first time that he came to me. He came to me a couple of times in dreams.
Wow, but that one was as real can be, right?
Yes.
What did he look like, Samuel?
He's beautiful. He is beautiful. I know when you look at a picture of Jesus out, like in reality, he looks nothing like that the way I've seen. He's really beautiful. He has nice woolly beard and, woolly hair, and his eyes are like winish honey.
But he didn't say anything to you or anything like that, just waved, right?
Yeah, he was just waving.
Probably with a lot of urgency, trying to get you out of harm's way.
Yes.
Well, tell me more. You said you had another experience with Jesus. Tell me more about that one.
This one, I'll be honest, I was 16 years old, and I remember it as it's today. I could read it off of my letter that I wrote, but I'm going to read it. I'm going to try to interpret it the best way I can right now.
Yeah, I'd love for you to just share it raw without reading it. Just tell me how it was.
I was 16 years old.
Go ahead.
We was drafted in the United States Army. We had 2 weeks to train. And throughout those 2 weeks, I was promoted to be a sergeant.
BT Dubs, if you haven't been keeping up with the news, there are rumors about a draft coming out for the Iran war. It's something much bigger we don't know about is going on. They are literally saying a draft is coming in the United States of America.
As you know, the military was sending us on a mission. I didn't know where we was going, what they were telling us. We just had to go. So we're in a helicopter. As we're in a helicopter, I'm getting my team out. As my team is coming out, I was the last one to come out. And as I'm coming out, an RPG hit the helicopter. I fall to the ground. I was in a coma. I wake up in New York City. I believe there's a hospital somewhere out there. And when I looked out the window, I looked to my left. There was a white ship with a red cross. I didn't see nobody around. I just saw nothing but ruins. I go outside. As I'm scavenging for gear, I'm looking for gear. I get this newspaper, it hits me. And this newspaper I read, it says, the president and vice president of the United States was assassinated. And when I look up, I see Russians, Chinese, Israelis. I see the Arabic flags. I see, Italy and, many countries. I asked God what does this mean? And when he interpreted, he said, son, this has to happen. It shall pass. And I never understood what he meant by that.
Wow. Okay. So wait, wow, there's a lot to unpack here.
I'm right now 38 years old, and I remember this as I was 16. It would never leave me.
So what do you make of this?
I believe there's something big coming, and we're just not prepared for what's going to happen.
So you said Russia, Israel, China.
And I said the Arabics. When I said Arabics, it's the whole Arab, meaning Gaza, Syria, Iraq, Iran. It's pretty big. Japan.
And so this happened when you were 16. So obviously you were not in the military then, right? Oh, I can't hear you there, Sam. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, so you weren't in the military. This was obviously not old enough to be in the military, but this was like you were in the future?
Yeah.
Like you were one of the soldiers and you're in the thick of it, like as if this event is unfolding and you're just kind of like in the middle of all of that, right?
Yes.
Was it on American soil?
Yes, it was.
And so there was clearly like an invasion going on, right?
Yes.
I mean, this is so relevant with everything going on in the news and all these different things, especially China, Russia, and then Israel is obviously in the news. And Middle East, Arabic countries. Interesting. And what did you hear again?
He said, "My son, this has to happen. It shall pass."
That's straight, I think, out of Matthew 24-25, somewhere in there, where Jesus says all the signs of the end they have to happen in order for Jesus to come back. Man, it is scary to think about it. Wars and rumors of wars are one of the signs of the end times. Do not be afraid, though.
And he said the world has to get along with each other, that nature needs to grow, and it's not going to be the same.
Can you repeat that again? The world needs to get along with each other?
The world needs to get along. Civilization ain't going to be the same, and nature needs to grow.
What do you make of that?
It still gives me goosebumps every time I talk about it. And I try to express this to a lot of people, but they look at me like I'm a crazy person. Oh, it's a conspiracy.
You should hear the phone calls I get. That's like every other phone call, people sharing things, what you're sharing. And I'm more into like the supernatural stuff, but it seems like lately people calling me about these kinds of things. So now I'm like, okay, what's happening? What is going to...
Man, I'm going to end it there, but all I'm going to say, this is not a denominator of one. That we've seen at least 15 to 20 testimonies of people saying there will be an invasion by Russia, China, Israel. This is the implication of this last one, is that Israel is actually going to turn its back on us, and especially considering the crisis in the Middle East, I could 100% see that happening because Trump has made a big embarrassment of the United States of America, and we've kind of ticked off the entire world, but we control all of the money. But if you look at even from an economic standpoint, China and Russia have been dumping the American dollars out of their central banks. We established this central bank system around the entire world, and we have literally run this entire system off credit. We have not paid back our debts, and when all these dominoes start falling, when the financial collapse happens, when panic starts happening, yes, it would be a perfect time to invade us, and these rumors are already happening. Literally yesterday, President Trump got off a call with Russia, and he said he needs to end the Iran war immediately, even though he hasn't accomplished what he said to, so I believe he got threatened on that phone call. Guys, it's coming soon. Please turn your heart, mind, and attention to the Lord. It will give you more peace than anything you can ever find. If this starts happening and the rapture hasn't happened, I know exactly how this is going to play out. I'm going to keep my faith. I'm going to keep my Bible. I'm just going to keep studying and turning to God, because it is a promise that in the end times, there will be a global war. Peace will be taken from the earth. Civilizations are going to get destroyed. Lawlessness will be everywhere. The Holy Spirit will get taken off earth. The Antichrist is going to come rolling in with some solution. I do believe it's going to be AI. I do believe they're going to have some secret facility where, like, the top American executives are all going to hide in the rocks in the mountains like it tells us they will in Matthew 24. They're going to go hide, develop some Antichrist AI system, and then robots are going to get mass deployed, and that's going to be the saving grace. Everybody's going to get neurochips to plug into this thing, and then before you know it, you're all submitted to the Antichrist. And when you're in the military and they say you have to take this neurochip, otherwise you can't serve, how many people are going to sign up to do it, do you think? The devil or the enemy, Satan, whatever you want to call him, he's going to play every single card possible. Aliens, technology, neurochips, war. He's going to play every single thing possible to get you to sign up to these neurochip AI systems, because that is what he wants. He wants your submission and all of it. War is coming. It's already broken out. Please don't be surprised when it does happen. And I hope everybody watching this video, if it does happen and you haven't fully committed your life to God, remember this video on that day and give your life to God immediately. Stop pretending this stuff is all conspiracy and fake. You're denying a lot of people, including the Bible itself, if you think it's not coming. Love you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. I honestly had a lot of fun. God really put it on my mind and heart today that it's time to share this message, that it's coming. No, don't buy a 1-year supply of food. What are you going to do with that? Like, truly, like, there's no reason to. Your best bet is either A, get out in the country and live far, far away from society, so that way they've got no reason to come attack you, or option B is essentially turn to God and give him your whole life and heart. He will protect you and you'll be okay. See you guys in the next one.